Oh, a little advance that a group of scientists had formed, and they're keeping it secret.
Imagine stumbling upon a collection of vintage photos that could potentially rewrite the story of planetary exploration. No, these aren't just any photos. These are declassified images from Venus captured by the Soviet Union during the Cold War era. Now, what if the person who uncovered these photos is none other than Bob Lazar, the controversial figure who claims to have reverse-engineered alien spacecraft for the US government? The sheer improbability of this scenario might make you skeptical, yet it's a narrative worth exploring. Strap in as we delve into a story where history, science fiction, and modern-day controversy collide. Who is Bob Lazar? Introducing the enigmatic figure. Bob Lazar is a name that either elicits expressions of incredulous disbelief or nods of agreement, depending on whom you ask. He first burst into public consciousness in 1989, when he appeared on a Las Vegas news channel, hiding his identity and using the alias Dennis. Lazar claimed to have been employed at a site known as S4, located near Area 51 in Nevada. According to him, this secretive location was where the US government was actively involved in the reverse engineering of alien spacecraft. The most remarkable aspect of his claim was the detailing of an element, which he referred to as Element 115, used for the propulsion of these otherworldly vehicles. At the time of his revelation, the element was not yet on the periodic table, though it was later added and is now known as moscovium. While the scientific community has not found the element to possess the miraculous properties that Lazar ascribed to it, the existence of element 115 added a layer of eerie credibility to his claims for some. Lazar's educational and professional background has been the subject of much scrutiny and debate. He insists that he studied at MIT and Caltech, although no records exist to verify these claims. Various skeptics have also pointed out inconsistencies and gaps in his resume, but Lazar maintains that his records were erased to discredit him. The lack of verifiable history makes it challenging to ascertain the truth, adding to the enigma surrounding him. Over the years, Lazar has faced legal troubles, including a conviction for involvement in a prostitution ring and the illegal sale of chemicals. Critics often cite these incidents as evidence against his credibility. However, Lazar's advocates argue that these could be tactics to further marginalize him and discredit his explosive claims about government secrets. What's intriguing is that, despite the challenges and criticisms, Lazar has not wavered from his original narrative. He even participated in a documentary about his life, released in 2018, wherein he reiterated his initial claims without significant alteration. In the realm of ufology and conspiracy theories, Bob Lazar is a polarizing figure. His name has become synonymous with Area 51, UFOs, and government cover-ups. Some believe that he's a fraud, a storyteller capitalizing on the public's fascination with the unknown. Others argue that he's a whistleblower, revealing deeply guarded secrets at great personal risk. Whether one considers him to be a charlatan or a messenger of uncomfortable truths, Bob Lazar has irrevocably etched his name into the annals of modern folklore. His recent purported discovery of declassified photos from Venus by the Soviet Union adds another bewildering chapter to the Book of Lazar. It's this newest claim that forms the crux of our discussion, a fascinating intersection between the storied past of space exploration and the never-ending quest for knowledge. Venera missions, focusing on the Soviet Union's Venus expeditions. In the midst of the space race, while the world was captivated by lunar landings and astronauts floating in zero gravity, the Soviet Union was eyeing a celestial body that was even more shrouded in mystery: Venus. The Venera missions, a series of space probes dispatched to our sister planet, were groundbreaking but often overshadowed by the drama surrounding the moon expeditions. The Venera program began in the early 1960s, and it would ultimately include more than a dozen missions over several decades. Early Venera missions faced their share of challenges, including equipment failure and loss of communication, but they set the stage for more successful endeavors. Venera 4, launched in 1967, was a triumph as it became the first spacecraft to transmit data from another planet's atmosphere. Its successor, Venera 7, achieved the remarkable feat of being the first to successfully land a spacecraft on another planet and transmit data back to Earth. Despite enduring temperatures and pressures that would instantly destroy most human-made objects, One of the most stunning achievements was Venera 9, which sent back the first black and white images of Venus's surface. While those images were not of high quality by today's standards, they were revolutionary at the time. The planet's terrain, filled with rocks and ledges, was far different from the smooth surface that many had speculated. This mission alone reshaped our understanding of what Venus might actually look like and raised questions about its geological history. However, the legacy of Venera is not solely about firsts and broken records. The missions provided valuable data on Venus's atmosphere, surface conditions, and even hints about its geological activities. Scientists learned about the planet's extreme greenhouse effect, its rotating upper atmosphere, and the presence of various gases and compounds. These findings laid the groundwork for understanding Venus's climatic conditions, which are often cited in discussions about climate change on Earth. But what has become of the Venera data and photos, especially in the post-Soviet era? Much of it is now in the public domain, but some were classified for years, adding layers of secrecy to an already complex story. This secrecy sets the stage for Bob Lazar's alleged discovery, a point of intersection between the mysterious and the known, between scientific pursuit and public intrigue. Bob Lazar's claim that he has found declassified photos from these missions offers a riveting continuation of the Venera narrative, opening the door to new questions, debates, and perhaps even revelations about one of our closest celestial neighbors. Declassified. What does it mean? An exploration of the concept. The word declassified has an air of intrigue that can capture imaginations instantly. It implies that something was once so sensitive, so confidential, that it was hidden from public view by government or organizations wielding considerable power. When such information is finally revealed, it often sparks debates, investigations, and occasionally, paradigm shifts in our understanding of the world. The term itself is rooted in the realms of government secrecy and intelligence, a lexicon that fuels conspiracy theories and speaks to broader themes of transparency, power, and public interest. Declassifying a document or photograph typically means that it has been stripped of its confidential or restricted status. This process usually happens after an assessment has determined that the information no longer poses a risk to national security or, in the case of scientific missions, could be of public or academic interest. However, declassification is not always a straightforward process. Governments have their own agendas and may choose to hold on to information that they believe could be politically or socially incendiary. Additionally, what is made public is often a sanitized version, with sections redacted or removed entirely. The idea of declassified information about space missions taps into the age-old human fascination with the unknown, the realm beyond our planet. This allure is further heightened when the information pertains to other celestial bodies that have captivated human interest for millennia. In the case of the Soviet Union, the secretive nature of its governance made the prospect of declassified information even more tantalizing. Given that the Venera missions took place at the height of the Cold War, it's plausible that photographs or data could have been kept under wraps, only to be released many years later. Bob Lazar's claim that he has found declassified photos from the Venera missions is compelling for several reasons. Firstly, if true, it adds a new chapter to Lazar's already controversial narrative, imbuing it with a sense of credibility that many might find hard to dismiss. Secondly, such photos could offer fresh insights into Venus, a planet that remains a subject of scientific curiosity due to its extreme climatic conditions and geological mysteries. Lastly, the very act of these photos becoming declassified could signal a shift in how governments view the importance of sharing space exploration data with the public. The concept of declassified is, therefore, not just a bureaucratic term. It's a gateway to hidden chapters of history, waiting to be opened. In the case of the Soviet Union's Venus missions, the idea that there may be declassified photographs yet to be analyzed is electrifying. It invites us to question what else might be out there, hidden in plain sight or tucked away in forgotten vaults, waiting for someone like Bob Lazar to bring it into the light. Bob Lazar's discovery, how he came across these photos. Bob Lazar's story takes an intriguing turn with his claim of having discovered declassified photos from the Soviet Union's Venera missions to Venus. Coming from a person who has consistently claimed to have insider knowledge about secret governmental projects, this discovery, if verified, could be another feather in his cap of extraordinary claims. How he allegedly stumbled upon these photographs is a tale wrapped in layers of complexity, coincidence, and contentious debate. According to Lazar, his fascination with space and physics led him to sift through various declassified documents and databases available to the public, albeit not without certain specialized access. He portrays himself as a sort of modern-day Indiana Jones of extraterrestrial lore, navigating the labyrinthine world of declassified material. In his narrative, his expertise in scientific jargon and his familiarity with classified projects enabled him to recognize the true significance of these Venus photos when he saw them. Lazar claims that the images were found in a poorly cataloged archive, almost forgotten by time, overshadowed by other high-profile declassifications. While the method of discovery may seem straightforward, the legalities are anything but. The term declassified might suggest that these materials are open for public scrutiny, but the reality can be a quagmire of regulations and limitations. Lazar contends that the photos were buried under miscellaneous data files and seem to have escaped rigorous inspection, likely due to the sheer volume of material that governments often declassify en masse. For him, it was like finding a needle in a haystack, but a needle that could potentially puncture established narratives about space exploration. Lazar has been notably careful in how he presents this discovery, fully aware that his past controversies make him a lightning rod for skepticism. He has not claimed sole expertise in interpreting the photos, but has invited researchers and experts to examine them. While this could be seen as a gesture toward transparency, critics argue that it is a convenient way to deflect responsibility if the photos turn out to be less than groundbreaking. The question of the photos' authenticity and origin is undoubtedly crucial, but just as riveting is the story of their discovery. If Lazar's account is accurate, it suggests that there might be other hidden gems in the vast vaults of declassified material. It also implies that the barriers between public knowledge and classified information are more permeable than one might think, especially for individuals with a unique blend of expertise, curiosity, and audacity. In a world saturated with information, the story of how Bob Lazar allegedly discovered these declassified photos from Venus serves as a reminder of the tantalizing mysteries that may still await discovery. It adds yet another layer to his enigmatic persona, while also challenging us to ponder what else might be lurking in the gray areas between public disclosure and state secrets. The photos themselves, what do they show? For all the buzz surrounding their discovery, the actual content of the declassified photos is equally, if not more, electrifying. According to Bob Lazar, these aren't just grainy black and white images of another celestial body. They are rich in detail and potentially paradigm-shifting in their implications. Lazar suggests that the photos offer a perspective of Venus that challenges pre-existing scientific consensus, showing unexpected geological features and atmospheric conditions that defy straightforward explanations. So what exactly do these photos show? Lazar claims that the images reveal intricate surface patterns that aren't merely rocky terrains or volcanic plains. Instead, they depict formations that hint at unknown processes, either geological or possibly even biological. He talks about anomalies that stand out, features that don't align with what probes like Venera 9 sent back, or what contemporary telescopic observations have inferred. These alleged anomalies range from unexplained luminescent spots that could indicate some form of energy release, to strangely symmetrical formations that might imply more than mere natural occurrences. Moreover, Lazar emphasizes the colors captured in these images, which he claims haven't been manipulated or enhanced. The coloration suggests an atmosphere that may differ in composition from what is currently accepted. These observations, if verified, could force a reevaluation of everything we know about Venus's inhospitable climate, its supposed lack of biological activity, and its geological history. However, the burden of proof is exceptionally high. Lazar is well aware that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The photos, as compelling as they may be, must undergo rigorous scrutiny, and that means analyses by experts in planetary science, geology, and atmospheric studies. Moreover, there is the question of provenance. Where did these photos originate, and how can we ascertain that they were part of a Soviet Venera mission? Authenticating the photos is as important as interpreting them, a fact that Lazar acknowledges. Nevertheless, if the photos pass these tests, their impact could be far-reaching, touching not just upon our understanding of Venus, but also upon broader theories about planetary formation, solar system dynamics, and even the possibilities of life elsewhere. They could also rekindle public interest in Venus, which has often been overshadowed by Mars and more distant cosmic bodies in recent years. The declassified photos, as described by Lazar, tantalize with their potential for novelty and breakthrough. But potential is the operative word here. Without verification and scientific validation, these images will remain at the fringes of serious discourse, yet they beckon with the promise of the unknown, a siren call for those who look to the heavens and wonder what else is out there. Why is this significant? Understanding the importance of the photos. If the declassified photos are authentic, their significance reaches far beyond the realm of mere curiosity. Indeed, the implications would ripple through various disciplines, from planetary science and astronomy to geopolitics and public understanding of space exploration. At the core of this is the opportunity for a renewed narrative about Venus, and by extension, our understanding of the solar system and perhaps even the universe at large. Firstly, let's consider the scientific implications. Venus, often dubbed Earth's sister planet due to its similar size and composition, has been a subject of fascination and inquiry for decades. Yet despite numerous missions, our knowledge remains incomplete, often relying on computational models and Earth-based observations. The introduction of new, high-quality photos could spark renewed scientific debates and perhaps even inspire future missions. Moreover, if the photos reveal features or anomalies that defy current understanding, they could serve as the foundation for groundbreaking research, challenging prevailing theories about planetary atmospheres, geological activities, and even astrobiology. Politically, the photos' declassification would provide a fascinating look into the Cold War era's secretive endeavors. Understanding what the Soviet Union knew, how they interpreted their findings, and why they chose to classify these photos could provide invaluable historical context. This could potentially shed light on the motivations and decisions that shaped space exploration policies during one of the most politically charged periods in modern history. From a societal standpoint, the photos could reignite public interest in space exploration. Despite the monumental achievements of recent Mars missions and plans for lunar colonies, space exploration has largely receded from the public's imagination. Authentic, groundbreaking photos from Venus could bring it back to the forefront, inspiring a new generation of scientists, engineers, and ordinary people. The possibilities for educational programs, documentaries, and public discourse are virtually limitless. Finally, the very fact that these photos were discovered by a figure as polarizing as Bob Lazar adds another layer of significance. Whether you view him as a maverick whistleblower or a sensationalist, his involvement ensures that the photos receive a level of public attention they might not otherwise have garnered. This could serve to democratize access to this scientific information, inviting public scrutiny and debate in a way that bypasses traditional academic gatekeeping. The significance of these declassified photos, if verified, is multifaceted and far-reaching. They represent more than just a discovery. They could be a catalyst for change across various fields, shaping our understanding of the universe and our place within it for years to come. Skepticism and controversy, existing doubts and criticisms. Bob Lazar is no stranger to skepticism and controversy. In fact, they seem to be his constant companions. The declassified photos from Venus, as provocative as they are, enter a public space already steeped in doubt about Lazar's credibility. For many, the question isn't just about what the photos show, it's also about whether we can trust the man showing them to us. To begin with, Lazar's own history is checkered with claims that have divided opinion. His allegations about reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology at Area 51 have been met with everything from fervent belief to outright dismissal. Academic and professional credentials have been a point of contention, with some critics suggesting that Lazar embellishes or even fabricates parts of his resume to bolster his claims. In this environment, even the most extraordinary evidence, like the photos from Venus, risks being overshadowed by the man presenting it. Another point of skepticism is the origin of the photos. While they are purportedly declassified, confirming their chain of custody is vital for their scientific validation. Even if they originated from a Soviet Venera mission, how did they end up in a declassified archive? Could they have been tampered with or misinterpreted along the way? These questions need answers before the scientific community can take the photos seriously. The nature of the photos also lends itself to scrutiny. High-quality images from a Soviet space mission from decades ago would undoubtedly have been a point of pride and propaganda. Why then were these photos classified to begin with? What did the Soviets see or think they saw that prompted such secrecy? The fact that they have been declassified without any fanfare or official commentary adds another layer of puzzlement. In terms of scientific skepticism, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Anomalies in the photos, like unexplained luminescent spots or puzzling geological formations, would need to be corroborated by other means. They cannot be accepted at face value, especially not when they come through a channel as polarizing as Bob Lazar. Researchers and scientists would need to replicate findings, either by comparing them with existing data from Venus or planning new missions to corroborate the observations. Finally, there is the specter of confirmation bias. People often see what they want to see, interpreting evidence in a way that supports their pre-existing beliefs. This is as true for enthusiastic ufologists who might readily accept Lazar's every claim as it is for hardcore skeptics who dismiss anything associated with him. The skepticism and controversy surrounding the declassified Venus photos are not just a side story, they are central to the narrative. Understanding and addressing these doubts is crucial for any meaningful discourse about what these photos signify and how they could impact our understanding of Venus, space exploration, and perhaps even Bob Lazar himself. The ongoing conversation. What does this mean for science and the public? As tantalizing as the declassified Venus photos are, they open a door to a much larger, evolving conversation, one that extends well beyond Bob Lazar or the Soviet Union's Venera missions. Whether verified or debunked, the photos have catalyzed a debate that intersects with multiple areas of human endeavor: science, politics, and public opinion, to name a few. This is a conversation that is still very much in its infancy, and its development will be fascinating to observe in the coming years. For the scientific community, the photos, if authentic, represent a complex puzzle, an intellectual challenge with the potential for game-changing breakthroughs. This could pave the way for new research grants, ignite collaboration between international space agencies, and rekindle a passion for Venusian studies. Even if the photos prove inconclusive or deceptive, the scrutiny they undergo could refine scientific methodologies and foster a more nuanced understanding of planetary exploration. Either way, science stands to benefit from the vigorous debates and inquiries these photos will undoubtedly provoke. From a political standpoint, the photos could influence policy decisions and budget allocations for space exploration. The renewed interest in Venus might encourage governments to invest in new missions, in international partnerships, or even in educational programs that capitalize on this high-profile discovery. The Cold War-era's secrecy may be long gone, but its remnants, like these declassified photos, continue to echo in the political landscape, reminding us that space is as much a field for geopolitical maneuvering as it is for scientific discovery. As for the public, the conversation takes on a different but equally important dimension. In an era where information is abundant yet fragmented, the photos serve as a rallying point for collective imagination and debate. They remind us that space exploration is not a closed book but an ongoing story, replete with mysteries waiting to be solved and worlds waiting to be discovered. They challenge us to think critically, to weigh evidence, to engage in constructive dialogue, and to dream about what might be possible. Whether one views Bob Lazar as a hero, a provocateur, or something else entirely, his role in bringing these photos to light has undeniably fueled public interest in a subject that might otherwise have remained confined to academic journals and specialist conferences. The ongoing conversation about the declassified Venus photos by the Soviet Union is an intricate tapestry of scientific curiosity, political intrigue, and public engagement. Regardless of where one stands on the credibility of the photos or of Bob Lazar, the dialogue they have initiated is a testament to their enduring power to captivate and challenge us. They invite us to participate in a conversation that, while centered on a distant planet, is ultimately very much about our own world, our methods of understanding it, and our visions for what lies beyond.